Recovery tier list. 2 on an S tier, 1 is an F tier.
I'll be going over these, letting you know which should you be doing, how do you maximize your growth potential, how do you recover harder than last time. Many of you go to the gym and you're training harder than last time, but what you're forgetting to do that's costing you the majority of your gains is you're not recovering. And so in today's video, I'm going to be going over the best and worst recovery methods, what you should be doing in order to maximize your gains.
Recovery tier list. 2 on an S tier, 1 is an F tier.
Jeff Nippard, the science-based lifter, he ranks several of these methods from S tier to F tier. We're going to be going over them. And so I'll be going over these, letting you know which should you be doing, how do you maximize your growth potential, how do you recover harder than last time.
Cold plunge. They can reduce muscle soreness, but research shows they might actually blunt muscle hypertrophy, and hot water seems to be better post-workout. D tier. That is cool.
And with the cold plunge, I do have to agree with Jeff. If you're worried about hypertrophy, going into a cold ice bath right after working out, it can in fact stop you from building muscle. And so it's better to save it for later. Now, if all you care about is recovery, for example, you're a cyclist, a soccer player. And so, for example, Holland, he's recovering for soccer. He's an elite level FIFA soccer player. And so he absolutely is going in the ice bath. And so I'm going to give it a C tier. It does, in fact, improve recovery, but it may stop you from building as much muscle. And so if you're watching Coach Greg, you're probably trying to build more muscle, but if you only care about recovery and building more muscle doesn't matter to you, I would give it an A tier.
Sauna. Heat can help with recovery, but the research isn't super clear yet. Until there's more data, I'm thinking high C tier, low B tier.
And so I completely disagree with Jeff. There is, in fact, an abundance of literature to show that using a sauna, going into a sauna, the heat after you're working out is going to improve recovery. It's going to allow you to become more heat adapted. Many cyclists literally will wear extra clothes, sauna suits and so on, and do cardio in a sauna to adapt to the heat. I caution you, do not go into the sauna before you go and work out. Don't do it before you're exercising. You won't feel as good. And so save your sauna for later at night or after your workout and do it several times a week if you like. It's, in my opinion, better than the cold plunge. And so I have to give it a B tier. Although I personally don't like it. I hate the heat. I hate the cold. I'm somewhere in the middle. I know that it is beneficial for many people. And so if you enjoy the sauna, it is a B tier. It is, in fact, worth it. And so in the comments regarding sauna, one person wrote, since sauna has been proven to lower cortisol, boost growth hormone, improve cardiovascular fitness, and help with sleep, I think there's definitely enough evidence to say it helps with recovery. And so if you're out there saying sauna helps you with recovery, I actually believe you. I think it's at least a B tier. You could argue it's A tier. And so do what makes you happy.
V drips. Unless it's for extreme dehydration or trauma under medical supervision, I'd skip it. F tier.
And so here's the thing. If you're like Jeff and all you do is work out, you're not racing bikes like Coach Greg, you're not an ultra endurance athlete, you're not running marathons, you're not getting dehydrated for powerlifting competitions and so on, I agree, it is in fact an F tier. I wouldn't bother with that. But if you're losing tons of weight, you're getting dehydrated, you're going to festivals, you're partying harder than last time, and you're sweating like no other, IV drips are absolutely beneficial. And so depending on the person, depending on the reasons you're doing it, it might be F tier for some and perhaps B tier for others. And you know your body. If you just ran a marathon or you're a UFC fighter, you just lost 10 pounds of water fighting or training and so on, then getting that weight up as quickly as possible, well, that could be, in fact, beneficial.
Stretching. It can help with flexibility and range of motion, but for recovery, it doesn't seem to be any better than just resting. So, low C tier.
Foam rolling, stretching, anything where you're trying to increase your length, range of motion of the body, I'm going to put that in a C tier. Is it great for preventing you from injuries, for injury prevention? Absolutely. It's perhaps S tier. But for simply recovering, just sitting there and stretching or foam rolling and so on, there are other things that would be better. And so I have to give it a C tier.
Eating enough calories. You can recover in a deficit for sure, but if your calories get too low, your recovery will drop off. High A tier.
Eating enough calories, in particular carbs, more important than protein and or fat, it's S tier plus. If you're an athlete, you're riding bikes. For example, I'm about to go in a race. If I don't eat enough calories, I do not recover for my next workout. If I'm in a deficit racing bikes, I'm on a diet, I am not going to recover properly. You need to top up your glycogen in order to perform at your best. And so eating enough food, it's paramount. It's S tier plus. If you're really worried about recovery, you're thinking, how can I perform again tomorrow as good as I did today? You need to eat. If you're cutting, dieting all the time, and you're not eating enough carbs, many people, they skip out on the carbs. They're scared of carbs. They're carbophobes. They're just thinking, oh, I'll just eat the protein. If your glycogen stores are not full, if they're not topped off, you just race bikes. Perhaps you rode 2 hours on the bike. Your energy is in the toilet and you say, oh, I'll just skip my meals. I don't need to eat. I'm just going to go in the sauna, the cold plunge. I'm going to stretch and I'm not going to bother to eat. I'll get to it later. Your recovery is going to be minimal. You need to eat and you will suffer the next day when you get back on that bike. And so I want to make sure that when you watch this video, you leave knowing you need to eat to refuel your body. Now, if you're already fat and you overeat all the time, well, you don't really need to eat that much food.
Appropriate training volume. If you try to do too much for too long, you'll dig yourself into a hole. Easy S tier.
I think it's better to change it from appropriate training volume to training consistently, because the appropriate training volume, well, it could be easy to recover from. For example, you train less than usual, easy to recover. And so if you want to know how to increase recovery, just don't do so much. I mean, if you're used to training 2 hours every day on the bike and suddenly you don't train, you take a day off, very easy to recover. If you're used to going harder than last time on the bike and you go easy, easy to recover. If you train too hard, you do too much, it's much more difficult to recover from, but it doesn't mean that you can't. If you train too hard or you do too much volume, it is possible to recover. It's just going to take longer. But this video is about maximizing recovery. And so if you, for example, are a weekend warrior and you decided, hey, I'm going to go and race with Coach Greg. I'm going to go on a 3-hour bike ride with Coach Greg on Saturday. How do I recover from that? Well, once it's done, it's too late. And so what are you going to do? There are so many things that you can do. And so we're trying to rate the most effective ones, and some of which Jeff is missing. And so when you're doing all of this volume, you're training too hard, doing too much, you're overreaching. It's very important to drink adequate amounts of water as well as electrolytes. And so, for example, while exercising, you could be consuming Perilite. It's going to give you essential amino acids as well as electrolytes, for example, sodium, potassium, and so on. And this is very important. Now, I want to make this clear. Things like Element, what is it? LMNT, whatever it's called, those various electrolyte drinks, for 99% of people, it's an absolute waste of time. And why? Well, primarily when you sweat profusely, for example, 2+ hours on a bike, you're going to get rid of a ton of sodium. Most of you, when you go to the gym for your 60-minute workout lifting weights, you're not sweating enough that you need to consume a huge amount of electrolytes. You're already getting plenty of sodium from your food. You're eating fries, burgers, canned foods, and so on. And so to add in more sodium, it really isn't even going to make a dent. You don't need it. It's not going to be beneficial at all. And so Element or other electrolyte drinks, for most people, it's F tier. Now, in comparison, if you ran a marathon, you're doing cardio in the sweltering heat. You're living in Texas with TNF and it's hot all day long, and you're riding bikes for hours. And when you finish your bike ride, like Coach Greg, your skin, it's covered in sweat. It's white. It's dried off sodium. You need to consume electrolytes. And on top of that, you need to consume more water than last time. And so very often when I go for a bike ride, so for example, on the weekend, when I rode my bike, I lost 5 pounds from before I rode the bike to after. And that's while consuming water. Imagine how dehydrated I was. And so for me, it's important to consume these electrolytes. And so proper hydration and electrolytes while you're doing your cardio. And I don't care if you're doing a 2-hour soccer game or if you're playing sports and you're just going out with your friends, but you're sweating profusely. You need to replace it with water. You don't want to get dehydrated. You don't want to lose out on those important electrolytes. And so making sure you're properly hydrated both before, during, and after exercise, that is S tier. It's imperative. And so if you're not getting in enough water, drink more water, add in electrolytes, but only if you're perhaps going for 90 minutes and or more. If you're only going for an hour, you really don't need to worry about it. But for those of you doing cardio harder than last time, in particular in hot environments, getting enough of water with electrolytes, it's S tier.
Sleep. Getting 7 to 9 hours boosts recovery, performance, and improves health across the board. S tier.
If you're not sleeping, you can't recover. If you don't get enough sleep, you're absolutely doing your body a disservice. You need to sleep. And whether it's 7 hours, whether it's 9, whether it's 11, you need to get the hours that you need. Some people need more sleep than others. Some people need to get a nap. If you're not sleeping properly or getting enough REM sleep or deep sleep, you aren't going to be at your best. I even have a bed upstairs. It's a cooling mattress. You literally lay on it, sleep. It tracks your heart rate. For example, the last night I slept in it, my heart rate was 48. This is my resting heart rate during the night. It tells me the percentage of REM sleep that I have. It tells me exactly how many hours. It even lists out my HRV. It's at 85. It tells me my deep sleep, my REM sleep, the time slept, my sleep fitness score. I'm getting all of these things. And so the better the sleep score, the more you're sleeping, the greater recovery. And so please remember, it's not just how many hours you sleep, it's the quality of the sleep as well. Try to go to bed at the same time each and every night. And so if it's too bright outside, be sure to wear your eye mask so that you don't have the light waking you up in the morning. If you can't get to sleep, be sure to take Delta Sleep. It's going to help you to get to sleep faster and get a better quality night of sleep. It's not just how long you sleep, but the quality of sleep as well as to turn the temperature down. It's hard to sleep when it's warm. You preferably want to be below 20 degrees Celsius, whatever the heck that is in Fahrenheit, under 80 for certain. And if you need to sleep with a fan, then get a fan. And if your boyfriend is a snorer like Coach Greg snoring sometimes, you may need to have to actually move and sleep in a different room or perhaps wear some earplugs. Next, I think very important to add some of these, as Jeff Nippard, he forgot about them. And for example, red light therapy. This is very, very good. I, in fact, have a red light therapy machine or whatever you call it. I can lay down the red light therapy. It increases recovery. It reduces muscle soreness and therefore increases performance. And so if 6'5" famous Norwegian footballer Haaland is using it, then I certainly believe that I could as well. Now, how much better is you going to be? Perhaps it's 1 or 2%, but remember, the 1 or 2% is what makes the difference. And so red light therapy, I'm going to have it as a B tier. And so if you're talking about recovery, it's certainly better than many of the things that he was listed. I most certainly think it could have made the list. And next, I believe that we could have massage or, in fact, compression. For example, these compression boots that I have. You put them on your legs and it squeezes. It has like the milking action. It's kind of like giving yourself a massage. That can also aid in recovery. And so I do believe I would give that a B tier, something else that you could add to your list. And so for myself, I got to admit, I'm not too good at getting through all these things. I haven't used this thing in over a month. The red light therapy, I'm only using about once every 2 weeks. I did do it more frequently before that. But it's like, even though I'm employed all day long, I don't feel like laying under a machine for 15 minutes, wearing the compression boots for 20 minutes, going in a cold plunge, going in a sauna. It would be my full-time job to try and help me recover. Not quite S tier, but the next thing on the list being A tier. This is easy. It's Turk Builder Max as well as Geo2 Max. I mean, how can you go wrong? It takes me all of 30 seconds to take this each and every morning. I don't have to do nothing. And so for me, The speed and ease of use, it's worth thousands. Like if I could get red light therapy, all of the benefits in 1 minute, I would do it. If I didn't have to sit there with that thing on my legs for half an hour, I would do it. But I don't got time for that. And by that, I mean, I don't want to do it. It takes too long. With Geo2 Max, Turk Builder Max, improved recovery, improved endurance, stamina, all the things, why would you not do it? If you're going through this list and you're going to spend, like I did, $13,000 on a red light therapy machine, in comparison of that, you can take this and this takes 30 seconds. Well, it's worth it. If I could get the red light therapy results in a pill, I would take it. And so for $100 and or less, you can get the benefits of Geo2 Max and Turk Builder Max in a pill. You're going to spend thousands of dollars getting all these various machines, the sauna, the cold plunge, all of that stuff. And it's annoying and it takes time, it's painful, and you got to do it. If you want to purchase a red light therapy machine, instead of purchasing this, well, you can do that for years. You got the time, you want to lay down, perhaps for you it's relaxing. By all means, I highly encourage you. Anything on this list that's not F tier, for many people it's beneficial. The higher the rating, the more important it is. Notice the S tier, I said you got to get your sleep, you have to eat enough carbs, and you need to drink a lot of fluids. That is the most important. To me, those are no-brainers. You should be doing that. Next, of course, you can get these. It's not all that expensive, and it is certainly going to improve your recovery, and you can go down the list from there. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully you can build more muscle. Hopefully you learn something from this. You at least have the rankings. And so if you've only got time to do 1 or 2 or 3 of these, then we'll do those. If you don't have the time for that, you don't have the money, then move on to the next. Or if you'd like to go to AlgoRx, get your blood work done, and see what exactly do you need, get doctors to prescribe various peptides, enclomiphene, Cialis, dutasteride, finasteride, the list goes on and on. What exactly do you need from compounding pharmacies prescribed by doctors, not research chemical bullshit. Don't forget to use code Greg. Don't forget to drop a like and to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you'd like to watch one of the 2 bloops, they're there. You can click on one of those. And don't forget, I would like to sponsor you. I don't care if you have 1 million followers. I want people that are not afraid to share with the world their experiences, the fact that they love HGLT supplements, and to share that with the world. And so if you are one of those people, click the link and apply right now. If you want to get coached by myself or myself and my team, the link is there as well. And until next time, I am out.